What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part 10 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Lokir Felhart Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Lokir Felhart faced off against Orion, who foolishly ranged reasonably far from Athaloran during his little wild hunts. Cute though they were, they could not stand up to the ministrations of Anathorema, and I assume that any survivors of that battle would have been sacrificed to the goddess of the savage hunt. Otherwise, we are continuing to move sort of by Athaloran. We gotta try to get through one of the fortresses into the Empire as we got to A, get to Elftown as it's one of our objectives, B, probably get towards the Sword of Cain location, which would be nice. Necessary, I don't know, but nice, certainly. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this turn, I believe we're only about halfway through it, so lots of stuff. Let's get to doing. Now, Mr. Cameron cannot reach Raysol, though he does want to. I wonder if we want to maybe sack Derivan, Libra, and Gien first, although this is basically worth nothing. But we do have to go here anyway. Alright, fine. Can't do anything about it this turn, but what we can do is raid for the turn, so go as close as you can. And we still get a solid 600 gold for raiding. Fair enough. Decent little bit. Sirare, you can stand near Lokir for now. Arwenel, you have temporarily taken control of this little army while the other army is wounded, so you can kill off Kurt Ludenhauer and what remains of that army. Out of resolve, please. And what do we have in terms of damage? Let's heal up because I'd like to go into raiding. Actually, we probably would have made more money by not doing that, but anyway. Out of curiosity, how much money do we get from raiding this? 664, what about this? 239, alright, 664 it is. And we were intending to head to Sigmar's Heim anyway. If we want to take Castle Musion, we'll also want to grab Castle Hashar, and... oh, okay, Remy's a little bit far, but it is on the river, at least sort of, so we can at least send a Black Arc down here should we want to, similar to what we've kind of done here, 3 arcs down the riverway. Anyway, ally mission successful, good for ally. Admiral Kenwovel is stuck where he is as he is recruiting, though he would like to be sacking right now. And yes, Admiral Balthanal, after the long and annoying chase down of Aletha, who for some reason decided to go into our territorial waters, which is all waters by the way, and not go for any of our Black Arcs, will meet his doom fighting one. Pyrrhic victory, casualties medium, our armies are echoes of each other. The enemy has a Shadow Mage, just like we have a Shadow Mage, and they have their Lothern Sea Guard, whereas we have our Corsairs. They have their Shadow Warriors, whereas we have our Shades. Let's see who's the superior. No, we have about the same amount of mana as well. Winds of Magic. Neat. Go.
For the king!
Alrighty, for the king? Sure, why not? Here we go, should be a rather interesting fight and dynamic we've got here. Shadow Warriors versus Shades. Now, Shadow Warriors / Shadow Walkers do more damage straight up than the Shades do, but with our buffs, their range is considerably less. I believe the Warriors and Walkers are at 180 range, and we're at what, 300 was it? 280. Very close, but yeah, considerably more, so... That said, it's not a shootout between the shadowy, sneaky assassin units as yet. Rather, we are going to start the battle on the enemy's flank, taking out a unit of spears before they can do anything, and then following that up with a nice overcast Penumbral Pendulum. If the enemy wants to line up in a neat little line, they'll take the Penumbral Pendulum to 2 units of Lothern Sea Guard, both of which get pretty much instantly annihilated. Alethanar is kind of in the front of his army, and it looks like oh wow, did he aren't you supposed to be good at shooting stuff? What was that? Well, it looks like he does hit our lord now, and actually pretty solid, 500 damage. Ooh, hey, he takes exactly 10% of his HP with shots. I shouldn't have said anything. I've jinxed it, gotta be careful. It looks like he might be able to be quick enough in terms of doing damage to actually threaten assassinating our lord, meaning rather than letting these shades continue to do their work solo, we're going to have to move and attack Alethanar. Alright, over all the way on the left flank, it looks like the first of the enemy units of Shadow Warriors have arrived. They've used their dreadful accuracy, so they have the stock and or speed, unspottable and snipe abilities, giving them an increased reload and accuracy as well. And the Unspottable made sure that while we were able to hit them a couple of times, they disappeared, and so we will need to close the distance a little bit more to make them reappear before they do too much damage, as they are firing away at, ooh, look at that, about 15% HP damage to these shades with every volley. I'm gonna get a nice shootout going with the enemy Lothern Seaguard as well, and while those silver shields will be blocking many a shot, at the same time, they won't be blocking the bleed, so they will be taking damage. The Shadow Warriors are revealed, and the Shadow Walkers over on the other side of the map will get hit with a Pit of Shades via the Rubric of Dark Dimensions, while we hit the other Lothern Seaguard with a I'm never going to remember the names of these abilities. Black Arc support ability. Anyway, our melee units have closed the distance, so unfortunately the enemy mage has targeted one of our Black Arc Corsairs with Twin Blades, who have taken damage themselves, and because we had to protect our right flank, we were only able to send forth the melee Twin Blades, and had to keep the handbows back to deal with the enemy Silver Helms and the enemy Eagles, both of which would be very much a threat and able to extremely quickly obliterate our units of Reaper Bolters. This, however, meant that we only had 4 units of melee on the front line. Without the close quarters infantry of the handbows to support, that means 2 of our units of Twin Blades got very, very severely beat up. That said, at least our artillery are still firing. The enemy's units of Shadow Warriors and Walkers have been defeated. Silver Guard is still holding back the Twin Blades, and that's a pretty nice contest. The heavily defensive Silver Guard versus the heavily offensive Black Arc Corsairs. And of course the enemy High Elven Rangers are in here as well. I used to really not like the High Elven Rangers, but when I played Eltharion and I was kind of forced to use them, I actually enjoyed them a fair bit. They're like a weaker version of Black Arc Corsairs with Twin Blades, right? Minus the sort of, ranger sort of capabilities that they have. Vanguard deployment and Forest Strider. But they do work decently well for mincing infantry, especially in the early game. And I do believe the I don't remember the name of that ability either, but the Lothern sort of special thing that Tyrion can do is he can get the Exalted variants of the troops, and the Exalted Rangers that he can do are pretty darn strong as well. Anyway, with that, Alethanar falls to a hail of Coral Fire, his mage, pin-cushioned as well, and with that, the battle is ours. Very, very nice. We certainly took damage. He did give us a fight, even though he was in a march stance, or full speed stance. Gotta give credit where it's due, but perhaps it's only that he gave us a fight because his tactics and his units are sort of shadowing ours, imitating, and that's the sincerest form of flattery and all that. Anyway. Alright, there we are. A very, very nice fight against the Alethanar. We certainly took quite a bit of damage, especially on our front line, where 2 of our units of Black Arc Corsairs did in fact rout, though interestingly kill-wise, if not quite damage-wise, Aminar's Reapers and the Keel Haulers did better than the other 2, but perhaps them having to run did contribute a fair bit to that. We took 7,000 damage from the Mage of Shadows as well, who hit this particular unit of Black Arc Corsairs with that Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, which especially in SFO does quite a bit of damage in addition to slowing them, and that caused them quite a headache. Not quite as much of a headache, however, as the Shades caused the enemy army, generally speaking, with the one named unit, the Hatred's Whispers, outdoing all the rest. Wouldn't you know it? And of course, 30,000, nearly 31,000 damage on our Sorceress of Shadows, Shadows, which got a very nice Penumbral Pendulum off, as well as at least one Pit of Shades on a unit of Shadow Walkers. Lovely. We could heal up, I guess, though we're fairly far from anybody, and we can heal at sea quite well now, so maybe there's no need. Yeah, the Fencer's Blades, 10-10, quite nice. Let's take the money, and we're looking to get a lot of cash shortly, so yeah. And what defeat trade do we have here? Aldred's Casket of Sorcery, eh? Winds of magic in this province will set to lowest upon turn start. Huh. That's actually quite nice for the Black Arcs, because they don't set Winds of Magic. They don't care about that, at least in provinces, and the Great Ocean is immune to it. Miscast base chance plus 20% for all enemy spellcaster. Yeah, we'll pop that on a Black Arc army. Fencer's Blades, maybe not for you. I'm generally kind of avoiding giving the Fleet Masters items, because they rarely fight in melee, though they do occasionally. I guess we did here, but anyway. Tech Thief, Cold One, no. None of that. And Shadows Fall, hero action cost and hero success chance plus 5% all characters faction wide. Well, aren't you lucky, level 2 Tech Thief that died previously? Maybe this will help you out. In fact, you're certainly going to need the Fimir, Fimir Bale Fiend or Fimir something. There's Fimir. Alright, you. Oh, it is a Bale Fiend. Yeah. Hero action success chance will help us out. Kind of makes me want to grab a Chaos Ally and get some Fimir in one of our armies. Coming out from the shadows. Makes sense. Anyway, I guess we're going up here. We need to sack the ports of these guys. They're going to be annoying if we don't, so it is what it is. There's an island out here for Admiral Dekkankar, although I suppose we could... We'd have this guy grab them as well. Depending. Although on the other hand, you might want to move around this way. Yeah, you're quite far. Maybe we'll send you out to the sea, and then Dekkankar can at least pick up this one. This one's kind of close. Actually, it's not even that close. How far are you? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, you're basically at that island. Might as well grab it since you've come all the way out here. Alright, anyway, let's get back to doing things in order once you've stopped moving. So Conwell is stuck, Balthanal, you've gotten your points. Well, we'll attribute your points later. Caleth, I'm sure you'd love to level up. Or build up your Black Arc. We need to see what kind of money we got. Explore the island. And auto-resolve. And take the... I'm gonna say healing. Alright, let's see if we got anything interesting. We really could use in other materials at sea, but we'll take the 5k for now. Go into non-full speed stance since we're dealing with enemies in these territories. Alright, and then go into Dread Expansion. I'm sure we'll find another island here somewhere. And even if we don't, Imric's ports are very much in close proximity for a little bit more alpha action. Anyway, Admiral Caleth, you're fine as you are. Moksha. You are kind of in a slightly odd position. I guess we can't really leave Turris Vigilance because it's kind of weak in terms of its garrison, eh? If we rush it, make it slightly stronger, probably not strong enough to defend. If we pop in a watchtower and immediately rush it, we would get slightly better. They could defend against this because it's just peasant garbage, but there is no guarantee that there isn't another full stack somewhere here, is there? And I think there was another army being built at Raysol. Maybe what we'll do then is this. You can sack Castle Musion and then sit here for one more turn. How about that? Auto-resolve. And then sack. And then we'll head back into Turris Vigilance. And then you can sit there for a turn. Do you need to build anything? Well, you will eventually need to build your Gargantuan Black Arc, but not quite yet. Alrighty. Ooh, I do want to check... Oh, you don't have Cainites. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. And we will need some of these guys, but not these guys in particular of those guys. So, yeah, no. Anyway, looks like we're okay. Who's after Mr. Moksha? We've got Dekkankar, who already moved towards an island. Admiral Irin Mo, the totally not 3 peasants in a trench coat. You are the Barb Storm army. You are still waiting for... definitely a sorceress, probably another Black Arc Reaver. And probably a couple of monsters. Oh, and you can't reach Bruce by the looks of it, so you're going to have to go near it. Ooh, sack value's pretty high, though. Not considering it's tier 4, that does make sense. We should probably try to get to Castle Quinnell before the Hookon's buff runs out, so we can sack that for big money as well. You two, you're kind of sticking around, at least for now, until we figure out what to do with you. You're actually kind of in the process of constructing your army, and... wait, let me just think about this. If Cameron wanted to trade a couple of these two to this army, and then we could pop the Bolt Fiends into this army as well. Kind of a nice mix of basic troops, as we want to make use of Dread Spears and Bleak Swords somewhere. And the Dark Shards won't be buffed, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I know which army you're going, I know which army you're going to, I know which army you're going to, I don't know which army you're going to. Oh, actually, I probably do know which army you're going to. So the only army is... I'm still waiting for a Lord with Doomfire Warlocks buffs. And somebody with Executioner buffs. So these two are the only ones not marked for a specific army right now. Oh, they'll get there eventually. Alright, well, either way, you two just stick around here. I guess you can go into Murat. Or Murray, and sit there for a bit. And then we can pop Mr. Nonus in here with that black armor, like so. Oh, not this turn. Next turn. Alright, fair enough. And you... will need a Black Arc Reaver. You have the Notorious Reaver, which is that Shadow Magnet missile block chance, which is... What's the shield? We have a silver shield on these guys, though their armor is admittedly fairly low. Yeah, I guess we'll go for another Notorious Reaver in this particular army. Get the additional missile resistance on the on these guys. That'll mean we'll need to move out one of the Black Arc Corsairs, but these guys are lower level anyway, so that's they shouldn't have been lower level, I guess. You can grab a Reaper Bolt Thrower, then another one. And then, oh, we have the Black Arc Corsairs, which will have to be replaced by... 3, okay, yeah, so 2 more of these. You will be replaced by the Dark Shards, and we will need you, one of you, to temporarily, well, maybe not so temporarily, but anyway, recruit a couple of the Black Arc Corsairs with handbows, and why you can't do that? Oh, fine. You go here, Mr. Shadow Dart, and then we'll have you recruit them instead. To trade and swap with this guy, we'll need to ferry them back since they're high level. Well, actually, what level do we recruit them at? Level 3, yeah. We'll keep these guys around. They're named. They've been a while. They've fought a lot of battles. I'd be remiss to just delete them. Let's build you and you. Gotta keep growing the Black Arcs after all. And I think we got at least one more Black Arc on the way, don't we? I guess we could build another one in this general area. We'll need to send more out in these general directions, so let's see what we have here. Admiral Bane. Revere Name of Power. Let's see what we got. A Light Quencher again, and Grimgaze. Well, I did want one to have at least some Blackguard of Nagaron. Not too many, but it'll be a nice mix of very strong units in amongst the Black Arc Corsairs. Why not? Sacrifice your bodyguard. Lovely, and the cause fear for them might be nice as well. Might even do a sort of anti-leadership stack with them. Ship's Navigator, Unassailable, Unstoppable, Unknowable, Unshakable. And Inspiring Presence. There we go. You're gonna have to grow your arc a little bit, though, before we get you going, Slaaneshi Giggle. So just wait on it. Fortunately, in only 2 turns, we'll get this again, Sacrifice to Anathrema. That's how we quickly grew our Black Arcs last time, and I'm sure we can do so again. Anyway, let's get back to doing stuff generally. Galeth, you've moved. Moksha, you've moved. Dekunkar, you've moved. Rinmo, you've moved. Exarian, I don't remember who you are. You're this guy, you're this guy, you're this guy, you're that guy. Twern, you have completed your recruitment, but until these guys are done, you can do nothing. We should probably get you a couple more Black Arc Corsairs at least. Like so. Anything that could take 1 turn, essentially. Will you need artillery? You'll probably need some artillery. Let's get you some artillery.
Yes.
There we go. Alrighty. Good for now. And I believe that's all, minus any building that we gotta do. So, Bay of Quietude. Milena, you need to counteract the Slaaneshi corruption we've got from Nakari being nearby, so we can build up an Altar of Cain. And in fact, let's rush it. and start building the second level. It'll give us capacities anyway, and we are at minus 23. Okay, good. So the Slaaneshi corruption is dropping now, so we're fine. You're fine. At least it's not something we want to or need to invest in right now. Alright, here though, Brigganell. We need to keep upgrading the Dark Palisades. Same thing at Ferignac. And we may as well upgrade the place. I guess we could build the Halls of Ravaging here, and I was going to say build the Cainite structure, but we can make at least some money from these places, even with the minus 30% reduction is going to be kind of intense, though. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it. It would essentially be a ton of loss of slaves, but because of the nature of the walled-up settlements here, the money flow will be small. Although, yeah, +5. We could, if we build it in the main territory, we could counter it with a slave pen, so still get at least 400 gold going. Alright, fine, go for that then. Then we'll do it. We need the money. Carcassonne, you... I might trade away, so let's build the conscription halls here and repair the place, see if we can't get a bunch of cash for it. Brienne, we will upgrade Moret or Marais. Like, so do we want to rush it? How? Yeah, it's kind of in a dangerous position. Fine, we'll rush this immediately so that we can at least start on the walls, and if an enemy starts approaching, we'll build it up. I wonder if maybe we shouldn't be building the Halls of Ravaging here, because we can build a money structure here instead. On the other hand, Grandset, how much of a danger are you in from enemies? Honestly, not that much. This gives us an additional unit of Bleak Swords and Dark Shards, which, well, -1 and -1 wouldn't be great, but we'd still have a lot of great units in the army. What do we get from the, from this building? We get 1 unit of Bleak Swords, which ain't much, but again, our money started to drop so significantly, I'm a little bit concerned about that. So we essentially trade a unit of Bleak Swords and Reaper Bolters. You know what, I'll think about it. Keep building this for now, and we'll see how our money situation looks once we start collecting money, like here. We'll pop the fights to the death for the control. We will immediately start upgrading Barfleur, including the grazing pastures, and Barfleur is where? Oh, it's all the way out here. Okay, you might get attacked by Lewin, so we'll need to build the walls up. In fact, I'm tempted to say rush it immediately. Rush construction is really nice with these guys. Any other place can start collecting money? You can, I think, and I guess we could go fights to the death here as well. And you know what? You're probably going to be far enough away from... Well, Grandset might not be. Whatever. We'll deal with it. I'm just taking a look at if there's any others can start collecting money. Torbedouz and Chateau de Paix. Well, we'll upgrade Bedouz first since we have 2, but then we'll... Wait. Brienne, you need to grow, so we'll leave you as you are for now, and we don't have money to upgrade you any further, unfortunately. But we weren't going to collect money anyway. Lequeno, are you guys ready to buy this yet? I've been letting you... Come on. 4.6k. You're never going to have enough money, are you? What are you even doing? They're just sitting there. They're not fighting anybody. Their armies are garbage. I don't know why you are doing so poorly, little Slaaneshi faction. If we cared about those mountains at all, I would have just killed you and taken your stuff, but you're not even worth our time. Anyway, let's take a quick look at what we have here. No trade agreements, and by the looks of it, nothing really interesting. Some of the orcs want to be friends, though they don't like the gifts given to the agents of the moon. We don't really care. If they want to go across the water to go for us, they're welcome to it. And turn. What is this? Oh, he's going to attack this place. Well, I'm glad we moved right back in. Fun enough. To resolve it, this guy might just have given up. And you're probably fine, so we'll ransom the captives for cash. Ally mission successful. The Drowned Hydra Blade. We got a little bit of damage on that. Dark Pegasus for Omnamba. Who is Omnamba? You are you're one of the masters. No, you know what? You should be on a cold one because you're leading the other cold ones in this particular army, so... and you're in a cold one chariot. No. You should both be... Well, no, you know what? I think we have sufficient chariots in this army, so yeah, both of you on cold ones, please. Alright, Dark Pegasus, cold one chariot, and reload time reduction when laying siege. Nemesis Crown lies near a mountain range in the Empire. Well, Hopefully in a few turns it'll become visible, and hopefully we'll pass it by as we go that way. And ooh, I notice these are 1 turn now. Why not? Alright, let's go for the Bloody Sacrifice so we can activate the Murderous Prowess in combat a little bit earlier. And aha! Another one of these annoying little armies. And I'm willing to bet they're going to try to go for one of the poorly defended ports, although none of our ports are really that poorly defended. But nonetheless, you're going to grab that island, you're going to hunt that little army down. And yeah, see that anti-player bias? You see how they sent 1, 2 Alethanar, 3 armies here, all as soon as we declared war on them, even though they're fighting the... fighting Hellebrand, and they've got them right beside each other, and they've got the Chaos factions and Norska factions right there, and still, but anyway, we'll deal. You, Dekhamkar, I've been staying back here for longer than I'd like. I wanted you to go out and do your own thing, but you'll get there. Resolve, and grab the, I guess, money, because you'll heal on the way to the enemy. Alrighty, and you'll get us 8k. Alright, fair enough. Alright, march stance, full speed stance, whatever it is, and then go into, I don't know, whatever. Try to go after Osidon. Lokir, well, actually, no, not Lokir. I lied. Tech Thieves to start the day, so let's start thieving. Tech Thief 1. We got 1 last turn, unfortunately, of Sacrifice to Hekari, so... we gotta make use of it to level them as much as possible before they're well and on their own. You have, yeah, 1 turn more. You needed 1 more to at least get to level 4, but whatever. Alanil indeed. Exactly what I was thinking. Anyway, Nagaroth. Or Nagaron Dinkrad. Nagaroth. Nagarothi. You cold one. No thank you, but you can grab Block Army in case we need to chase, and none. There you go, and I believe there was 1 more Tech Thief for leveling and moving. Wound, no, I lied, Block Army. And you can go to Summer's Fall Fort before moving probably down here and annoying these guys. And keeping an eye on them as well. Hello, if it isn't Daith. Maybe another avatar. For Lokir to Fell. Lokir, go to Summer's Fall Fort. What I don't like about the Wood Elves here is that their stuff isn't worth that much sack value-wise. It's kind of a waste of Hukon be praised. How far is Kingsglade? It takes such a hassle to move through those territories, though. We can go to Quenelle, however. You know, Quenelle probably the better option. You will go here and sack it, and then Sirare. Do we want to keep leeching here? You're level 10 now, so you can actually probably go and do your own thing. Oh, next turn. You need to take the... yeah, go here. Next turn, because you need to take the Ice Blades. And they were earmarked for your army, and it's time for them to join up. Alright, auto-resolve for obvious reasons, and sack it for same obvious reasons, and it's time... I missed him. But it's okay, he can grab Summer's Fall Fort should we desire it, which I imagine we do. Gloringway. I don't know who you are. Oh, it's one of these guys. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And Loke here, grab this place now. And occupy it. Can we pop off a... yeah, before we sell it... okay, first of all, repair it and build a military structure. We will pop off a open markets for the free 2.5k. We needed more. I don't know how much it's worth to these guys. Chateau Levar is going to be worth nothing because it's damaged. Okay, but maybe we can sell it for a bit, huh? What about to you? Summer's Fall Fort. To you, it's worth 3.5k. Might be worth more next turn. We'll see, and then maybe attack you. Again, this amuses me. And then here, oh, we can do the same thing. Fights to the death. We could probably just abandon the place as well because we can't really sell it to anybody, can we? Embrun. Can we sell you Embrun? No. I don't think it's near anybody, unfortunately, which means no Dyson getting rid of it. Yeah. Alright, just abandon it. If the rats want to live there, they're welcome to it, but otherwise it's a waste of our time. We'll pop off the open markets to trade the slaves for money, and then we'll abandon it so that we don't have to deal with it. I was hoping to sell it off. You know what? Give it their turn. I guess we could try to sell it to the same faction as Summer's Fall Fort. Maybe. The likelihood is not as high as I'd like, but whatever. Looks like the orcs took this place. That's fine. We'll sag der Van Lieber, and ooh, actually, do we want to sag it? Let me just see here. This province is probably not doing as well in public order as we'd like. I could still fix it in 5 turns, though. Oh, it'll kill off the heart. Well, actually, this isn't too bad of an army. Yeah, you know what? Fine, we'll fight this in a second. Cameron, wait there, buddy. Almost caught the poor harpies killed. You can channel. Arwenel. You cannot reach Sigmar's Heim, and Martel is probably... I was wondering if it's better to take it with the Black Ark. Oh, actually, speaking of Black Arks. You, Moksha, go out to sea, such as it is, and then take Castle Museo. Out of reserve. And occupy. Perfection. Hey, and we got another slaver as well. Isn't that lovely? It's a significant buff to all our stuff. Don't collect the income here as yet, and we'll have you grab... Well, actually, I guess you have to grab these places while you head to Martel. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, fine, fair enough. We wanted to... I think slavers can only go on lords, and I assume you already have one, but we should have plenty of other Black Arks that don't. Meaning you, for example. Oh, went to the wrong place. Details and ancillaries and slaver. There we go. Income from all slave pens and slave markets buildings. And here's still moving towards us. What is this? What are you guys doing? You guys can move now, but I'm willing to bet that Kiriella will run. But just in case they don't, let's go right here. We're out of here anyway. Let's see if they try to run away. Yes, they will. So what are you doing? I don't really understand. Behaving very strangely. Some kind of... I don't know, even weirder anti-player bias. I'm actually almost tempted to trade the Charybdises to this army, because they do have the contact effects that we've been hankering for in this army. I'll think about it. We can always build more Charybdises for the other army as well. It's not like they'll function the same. Anyway, Cameron, just wait until we're ready for you, bud. Arwenel, you are going to go back into raiding, since you cannot reach Sigmar's Heim. You'll move right up to it and attack it next turn. It's actually pretty well defended, so you will have a decent fight for yourself here, so that's nice. Might as well max out... I guess we could go for the Overcast Vision's Wild Form, so let's do that. Help out the melee a fair bit. Kinwovel, you just moved, sir. Balthanol, you can now move. And... I mean, I guess we're just going down the sea. Ooh, you know what we can try to do as well? Missions. The Drowned. Oh, you're not fighting Alethanar. I wanted to see... Yeah, we don't have that. Alright, fine. Let's go after Magnus Lure and Magnus Lure, because we know we're about to attack him, and then Scryer. Monte Nardo? No, I don't think so. Too far. Too far. Well, actually... Lior Le Chasseur, you are in the isle... Well, you... Not the island, but in a port, so maybe we'll try you. I don't know if that was a mistake, but it's too late now. Malthanol. You have to hit here. Keep an eye on islands, but we've got to burn down these guys' ports and at least cripple their faction so that they can't annoy us by sailing more armies down to us. In their current what are you doing? Oh yeah, this AI.
This is absurd.
Oh, I thought they fixed the anti-player bias, or at least maybe not fixed it, but at least reduced it. This does not seem reduced to me at all. In fact, it's acting absolutely insanely. And Emmerich, where are your ports, bud? Ooh, we can get a tier 5, but I'm not sure we can afford it. We make 339 gold per turn now. At least, you know, via our buildings. Alright, anyway, Exarian, Dekunkar... Wait, I moved you, right? Wait. Who did I not move? Rinmog, yes, you have to move. Please don't pick up a plague, but if you could sack Bruce, that would be really great. Pyrrhic victory? I mean, it's a pile of peasants that would just get obliterated from a distance with the Reaper bolt throwers. Are we interested in watching that? It'll just be like a 5-minute long artillery barrage. I feel like not the most interesting, to be perfectly honest. Let's just auto-resolve it. And we'll sack it. Like so, and then we'll dread expansion here for a little while we heal right back up, and then you... Oh, I should have popped you in this arm. Wait. Yeah, I should have popped you in this armor. Well, I guess, you know what? You guys are the most damaged. Now you're not. Beautiful. Like so. Now you have 2 Black Arc Reavers in your army. Which is what we want, and of course you need the Sorceress, but for that we need Sorceress capacity, which is why we're still looking for more territories. Anyway, you just sit there. I'd love to watch the artillery armies fight on field, but in a siege they wouldn't be quite as fun. Anyway, Cameron, you're about to fight again, you know what I think pretty much almost right now. I guess you guys can swap some units, right? I was about to say maybe we could just get a new Lord up and running, but we could have Sirare deliver stuff, which would work just as well. And these guys are right beside a port anyway, so the crossing would be easy. You guys are sitting here growing your stuff anyway. Alright, that's fine. Sit there then. And then you guys are still recruiting, so... yeah. Keep on doing that. Ooh, wait. You're able to go up a level. And you guys are able to increase your growth rate. Yes. And the faster they grow to level 3, the faster they can become a sort of self-sufficient Black Arcs. And you cannot build your growth, but you can. Alrighty, and now, other than Nonus, who is supposed to join this army, right here.
This is real military might.
Yeah. And we're good. We'll definitely need Death Hags here as well. In fact, I would like to check Death Hags right now. Okay, can't check them here. We got another black armor. Vicious and Cruel. Devastating for accompanying Lord only. Not worth it in my opinion. Now, this is fine. Yeah, nothing particularly interesting. Actually, Black Arc Reavers maybe? Sons of Murder, Black Swag, and Deadly Corsair. They're okay, but nothing crazy interesting. Alright, Cameron, it's time to fight. Let's do this. Level up. We got 3 points, and we were saving... because we can only spend 1. Alright, get a Steamed Combatant, and then save the rest for the Seek New Corsairs as soon as you hit level 15. You, Werora... I'm going to say get another point in... oh, definitely get Kindle Flame. Frankly, I should have gotten that earlier. Flaming Sword, and then we cast both Burning Head and Flamestorm a fair bit, so both are fine. In the close confines of the enemy settlement, maybe the Flamestorm will be the more valuable. You already set our saving points. You have Lashmaster and Sheafmaster. Ravager rewards confer Bloodlust and... okay, that's everything that you need out of those. I guess you could make yourself a little bit tankier now via hard to hit and such. We'll probably want to grab Ward of Cain fairly early, but melee defense, considering yours is basically non-existent, is the bigger priority. Though admittedly, we probably do still want Infamous Raider pretty much everywhere. Because we're sacking everything? Fine, let's go through Infamous Raider first. Alright, good to go. Do you need to be in Druki First Strike? I don't know, but I do know that we're going to use it. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Kill indeed, friend. Let's see how quickly you can do so. Ooh, the enemy's going to start the day off with a few of the Trebuchet rocks flying our way, and we're going to have a bit of a shootout with them and our Reaper Bolt Thrower. I never know with the big ol' artillery crews like this whether it's better to use the Reaper Bolt Thrower as a split shot or the single shot. The single shot is obviously much better at blowing up single artillery pieces, but the Reaper Bolt Thrower's multi-shot is better at killing off the crew. Which is faster, I guess depends how quickly and how accurately we can hit the individual artillery pieces. Here, though, we've used both, depending on which of the Bolt Throwers, so I guess we're not going to find out. Anyway, Mr. Camring is here as well. He'll get a few hits in, but otherwise we're making our way into the enemy's city, and it looks like a unit of Knights Errant will head towards us to get hit by 2 railgun shots from our Medusa, losing about 15-20% of their HP as they do, then getting netted up and getting hit with more of those Medusa blasts as the units of the Black Arc Corsairs take up their positions. Beautiful. Alright, working well against the Knights Errant, but of course the Knights Errant are going to be a lot more threatening than, I guess, the last army that Camring fought. Last episode, the Fey Enchantress brought, other than her Grail Guardians, primarily regular men-at-arms, peasants, and mounted yeomen. Here, however, we have all Knights Errant and some foot squires instead, so certainly they can do better. Here come the Knights Errant and the foot squires, engaging the units of engaging the Blackheart Blades and the Fellheart Steersmen. Although it looks like both of them are having a bad day, as we have sort of concentric units of range, one after the other. So even if they engage the first unit, the second unit, and the third unit, and the fourth unit, or the third line will effectively keep on firing. Unlike a field battle, this is a minor settlement battle, and thus pretty much always to the disadvantage of the AI, as it can't use the choke points and whatnot nearly as well as any player can. So there it is. Anyway, the units that charged forth gave it a go, but it wasn't a particularly effective one, and most of those are shattered. Though on the other hand, there are more where that came from. We are, however, going to take advantage once again of the choke points and separate the enemy units. A Flamestorm and a Burning Head as well will heavily damage 4 units, all the while, of course, under fire from those Medusa. Fantastic. Bounce power at about 85, maybe even closing in on 90% already, and it looks like Camring has managed to stop another charge from the Knights Errant in their tracks. We let the first Yeomen and the Errant Knights through. That ain't happening again. Although this probably does mean at least some friendly fire to Camring, and we do have to be careful considering the potential for armor-piercing damage to do too much to our lord. Probably another reason to get that Ward of Cain up and running for more missile resistance. Our own army is going to be decently dangerous to ourselves. Anyway, mounts of power are still hovering at about 90%. There is at least one more unit of Knights Errant running around, and we've got 2 units of Knights Errant. No, that's a unit of Mounted Yeomen. 1 unit of Knight Errant. I lied. Riding around, we are moving the Crows of Cain and the other Harpies around as well, trying to find isolated range units. We've already got 1 or 2, but I'm sure there's more to be found. Spearmen at Arms now moving down towards us one by one. I guess they don't have too much of a choice in the matter either, as if they just sit there, they're going to get pincushioned by the Dark Riders and by the Reaper Bolt Throwers. These guys do have shields, so it is taking a little bit of a while to bring them all down, and it looks like the enemy is firing back upon us by raining pox arrows down on the Blackguard Corsairs. Another unit of men-at-arms will collapse here, especially having taken a counter charge from the Black Arc Reaver. And I believe those pox arrows will be next on the menu as soon as those Knights Errant stop protecting them. What is this? Bretonnian knights actually protecting their peasants? I don't know. It's very suspicious. Anyway, we're going to charge those Knights Errant real quick, as a lot of our units have a poor angle here. That also slows them down a little bit and allows us to do some fairly heavy damage. And if they want to give chase to us, that'll put them right into where it's much easier to fire upon them. Absolutely beautiful. Choke points really kicking the Bretonnians in this particular battle. Looks like another enemy range unit found by those Harpies. And yeah, 3 units of Harpies dropping down upon a poor unit of peasants that will melt away in seconds. And it's gone. And just like those peasants, the enemy army will soon be gone. I see their leadership dropping. Enemies getting ready to sound the horns of retreat. I believe the last of the mounted units, the Knights Errant, have fallen, and the Mounted Yeomen are certainly not going to stick around and in the fight. There we are. With that, the last of the enemy shatters, and the battle is ours. Well done, Camring. Alright, there we go. No problem at all this time around. Probably a fair bit of friendly fire to the Medusa and the Manticore, but to Camring himself, but otherwise, no problem whatsoever. Damage-wise, At 15k, it's the Blackheart Blades and the Raiders of Anathema and the Pelhart Steersman following close behind. We didn't name the Dark Riders with crossbows, did we? Or repeater crossbows, so oh well there. And the Medusa in a contest about 2000k over for the Muse of Terror. Now, we're gonna sack the place. Yeah, it's gonna cause some provincial instability, but it is what it is. It's a lot of cash I'm not gonna say no to.
Search this place.
Like so, and then capturing Dervan Libre will give us the entirety of this province and the last settlement that we take. Because we're not proceeding further this way. I mean, we'll sack and raise around here, but the end of these sort of walled territories. Repair and build and... You want to rush at Chateau? Yeah, we can rush this. Rush and then build this stuff. And here we can't rush, and we don't know what exactly we're going to build. So let's start the conscription halls. We'll build one money building, but also a conscription halls. And we'll pop off the demand highborn hostages. And this place might generate some decent cash at some point. Minus the 4 settlements or 4 watchtowers, reducing the income fairly significantly, but that's just the name of the game in SFO. Anyway, I find the sort of dynamic in this game, well, in the current iteration, a little bit weird in the sense that minor settlements, they protect against auto-resolves, which I guess means protecting against the AI a lot, but in terms of against the player, the AI has such a major disadvantage in fighting in minor settlements, they'd be more difficult to fight in the field than they would be there, but it is what it is. Anyway, Castle Bordelot, definitely want to upgrade you. And let's keep looking. Was that it? I think nobody else needed to move. Renmo, you're waiting, aren't you? Because you've taken or sacked Bruce, and then we can, I guess, raise it. Because we're not looking to go back. And Phidian, ooh, yes, I do need you to join one of these armies out here to provide your contact effect. Otherwise, we'll get a little bit of cash to spend, so let's spend it. Nothing here. Guaniar, yeah, fine, let's build the money building. In fact, this might be far enough away that we don't need the Dark Palisades here. I'm not entirely sure. I will consider at least removing them. River Brienne, yes to the money. And yes to upgrading Saint Jacques. That looks good. Lyonnaise, yes to the Dark Elf Harbor and the Tier 2 building. Yes to the wall upgrade. And then yes to the Artisan's House. And I guess we could probably do the Artisan's House here as well. Although it might be better to... Well, we can pop off the slave pens once we're... Yeah, fine. Oh, actually, no, I lied. We need sorceresses. Let's build the capacity here. I didn't realize that this was a level 3. In fact, more sorceress capacity, please. Desperately in need of it. Alright, and I might rush some of those in a bit, but we'll see. Brienne, was there something else to upgrade? Oh yes, Moret, and you're kind of in a dangerous, somewhat position, especially if the Wood Elves come around, so let's actually upgrade the walls, at least. Or rush the upgrade of same said walls. Castle Aquitaine, or Aquitaine General, you're kind of stuck as you are. Scabreach. Yeah, you're fine. I mean, we could get a little bit of cash out of the open markets, but if we rush a bunch of the stuff that we just built, it'll undo that, so we can ignore it for now. Pina Wood, you, I think, can... I was about to say lose the growth. We're probably never going to bother getting up to tier 5, but we can build a sorceress building here, so maybe we'll do that. Oh, it's going to take 1,000,000 turns to build and upgrade it, though. Might be better off just to get rid of the halls of mustering and do that instead. Yeah, fine. Embrun, you are not being kept, you're being traded. Lequeno's still in the same position. Mousillon, you're fine as you are. And Port Saul, yes to the salt upgrade. Alright, that looks good. Have a little bit of money remaining, which means we can pop a little bit of it into the Black Arcs, but we'll do so next turn, as I don't feel like doing it right now. Oh, would you look at that? Trade agreements. Haven't had those being requested in a while. Disciples of Hashut. Would be nice to trade with you. If we declare war on the Nag Rippers, will you do it? For 2.9k. Kinda meh. Nobody else is particularly interesting. Maybe we wait on it. We could do the military alliance with Scuttle for 4.4k, which isn't too bad. Oh wow, look at that. They're at war with every single one of the Southern Realms. It's kind of interesting. Or at least the ones that are over here. But a lot of them, surely. Anyway, for now, we'll wait. Skip outposts, etc., and in the turn. Did I forget anything? I hope I didn't, because it's too late. Alright, Rod of Briars gives you Lamentation of Despair. It's an okay spell, but it's kind of unreliable and probably not worth the loyalty. We'll just take the XP instead. Oh, let's give this a read, though. A powerful sorceress who lives as a hermit in the Black Forests is the sister of one of your lords. She has been accused of sheltering traitors, and your minion pleads for her life. This reeks of concern, which makes your lord weak and fallible, yet makes him ripe for manipulation at a later time. Spare her, slay another. Treason cannot go unanswered, lest it make you appear weak. Have the Lord select undesirable family member to die in her stead. And what do we have here? Shroud of Death, slippery, melee defense, physical resistance, fear, and stalk. Huh. That's actually a pretty neat one. Or we can gain a trait, Assassin's End, enemy hero success chance, reduction, and 4 melee attack. I mean, not for cammering, but Shroud of Death on one of the armies that's like, that's got shades and stuff, right? With slippery and stalk. I mean, I feel like that would be lorefully nice. I think we'll do it. Put you down to 7 loyalty, but that's not so bad. It's a shame to lose out on a free trait with +4 melee attack, but admittedly, do we really need this that much? Does it actually offer us that much? Not really, but it's only 4 melee attack. It's not a big enough deal, I think. At least, I prefer the sort of loreful little item. Ooh, you get the Factor, the new one. Not the Rhetorician. Where's the Factor? Yes. Now, how's that trade income? 8.4k versus 7.2k. Yeah, the Black Arcs still make more than trade. And Dark Pegasus for somebody. And, hello. We have now the Sacrifice to Anathema. Now, before we do anything there, do we have any more Black Arcs available? No, alas, we do not. And we're not looking to take the settlement. Anyway, let's steal. Oh, failure. Oh, right. I got so used to them never failing that. I guess we're gonna start potentially failing these again. Oh, well, what can you do? What's the chance? 48% to fail? Really? You're at such a high level. Okay, go this place. The Greenskin Rebels can serve the purpose. There you go. That's much better. And go for wound. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have saved the Greenskin Rebels, which is an easier success chance for the low-level Tech Thief. In fact, we'll do that, and then we'll send you back around this way. I take it Shinon is part of this? Yeah, and you're gonna fail. But at least he didn't die this time. I wonder if we should sack the place or just leave it. Considering it serves a purpose, maybe we should just leave it alone. Are you able to reach the Humble Chapel from here? You are not. And it's not worth sacking, meaning you're just going to loop around, try to get to Raysol as fast as you can. Alright, come on now. There we go. I wish you could move others when others were moving, but it's like, it's kind of weird when you try. Anyway, we could go after Daith. Admittedly, he doesn't have all that much here. Out of curiosity, wait. How much is Summer's Fall Fort worth to you now? 4.9k, and we could probably get you to cancel some agreements. How much sacking is this worth? 2.5k, eh? How much? Ooh, wait. You guys are besides selling the Summer's Fall Fort as well. How much is it worth to you? 4.8k. We'll probably have you cancel one of your defensive alliances. Maybe. Admittedly, the Skaven won't be too appreciative of this, but do we care? I don't think we care that much. I'd rather have the cash. 2.5k. Yeah, Castle Quenelle is worth considerably more in terms of sack value. So, oh, wait. 2 things. Tech Thieves. Move you first. Let's have you go to Salignac-le Rouge, maybe? Yeah, why not? Oh, actually, no, wait. I was going to have you go down here to annoy the Southern Realmers. 71 versus 71. Okay, it's the same amount of success chance. This will give us vision down here. I'd like to send an army down here as well to start from here, because there is more coastline, which means more capacities. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that this place is a Skaven plague, but I'm gonna hope that it won't matter. You. Go for the Ice Blades. Yes. And I believe you're good now, yes? No more following Loke here. You're gonna go off and do your own thing. You'll recruit from the Black Arcs, and then you'll transfer... You'll transfer some stuff. I guess if we attack Turin, it would mean not attacking Castle Quenelle right now, which might not be the worst thing. We'll just sack his territory. You know what? Here's what we want to try to do. If we give you Summersfall Fort for money, would you break the defensive lines with Torgavon? You would. Again, it's free. It's doing that buggy thing. I'm just going to assume that we would have been able to afford it, okay? Because... you know, this is kind of what we've been doing all over the world, and it has been working. Now, this I think that we could probably just auto-resolve. I would assume. Although, well, they got some war dancers, huh? I wonder if they'd be willing to fight in the field. Yeah. You. Wait, is this a different faction, or is this the same faction? Transfer. Summersfall Fort. Break defensive alliance with Torgavon, and give us all your money. I'm gonna have them break a trade agreement as well, but since we don't know how much it'll cost, I'm just gonna do this. Should be sufficient. There we go. Just by trading them some Bretonnian stuff, we get always... Oh, right. You trade them Embrun next turn as well, but that kind of puts us a little bit more close than I'd like. On the other hand, what's the likelihood that they actually bother defending the places? Anyway, you are at war with nobody. That's about to change. Declare war. Colorize to help. Nope. No need. These guys will never like us, and this will spare us a turn of having to go to the Skaven Plague place. Go after Dada. Oh, they have a stack there. Ooh, they are willing to fight in the field. That's a little bit more interesting. I think we'll fight it then. Let's pop the Banner of Eternal Flame, which should be helpful here on... I'm gonna say you. Or maybe you. You're kind of in the middle of the entire formation. Yeah, and then fight it. Alrighty, here we go. Lokir back for another round with the Wood Elves and taking down their avatars. So, we'll wait until Daith arrives on the field, but in the meantime, there is a Spellweaver here who is... well, actually has pretty solid stats. 66 melee defense. Huh. Alright, well, I still don't imagine it's going to be too much of a duel as between Lokir and the Sea Dragon. That definitely is in our favor, but we shall see. Interesting. I noticed that the first blow knocked the Spellweaver down from floating, and I guess every blow does, but it didn't actually land. As in, it didn't do damage. Not that that's going to last too much longer, as the Spellweaver has lost about 60% of her HP, and a couple more hits will see her defeated. With these, they're... oh, brutal with that. Lokir carries the day, having taken no damage whatsoever. Alright, we've got enemy reinforcements moving in 30 seconds, and I do notice a couple of those War Dancers, 2 Treemen, rather than the one that I had originally surmised, and those Sisters of the Thorn. They have that toxic venom on them, so we can't be letting them stick around and, you know, do their work undamaged, so it's time for a little bit of magic. Spirit Leech upgraded will hit them first and follow with a Fate of Biuna. Of course, the Spirit Leech won't do too much damage to them, and them not being a single entity, but every little bit will count here, considering they have no spell resistance and a little armor as well, so should work well enough for us. Now that we've done our work, we're going to back the flyers off and send forth our Corsairs with handbows. Gotta remember that Lokir has an well, ever since he reached level 12, has had the upgrade that gives the Stalk and Vanguard deployment to all of his Corsairs. So we can keep the Twin Blades hidden and then sneakily move up the handbows to obliterate that first unit of Sisters of the Thorn. The other one has seen what happened to the first and is booking it on out of there, while the enemy will send a pile of, Well, this is an interesting strategy. They're going to send all of their range units towards us, but keep their melee back. Huh. I guess it's trying to do some kind of skirmish tactic. It might be that it's doing this because it actually can't see 90% of our army. Everybody's hidden thanks to those buffs. Well, that's not going to work so well for the enemy. We're just going to repeat the same exact strategy and going to send Lokir forward to absorb the hits because with his resistances and his regeneration, he should be just fine. This will also most likely set all of those Glade Guard running. Going to activate Black Ark support abilities in their way to try to annoy them as they run, and net a few of them down to make sure that we get more hits in, and then send in the hand bows to pincushion them as they run. Briny Breath comes down from the Sea Dragon, and this is an absolutely brutal ambush. Maybe the Sisters of the Thorn didn't tell the Glade Guard what happened to their sister unit. And it looks like the Glade Guard will melt away in the exact same manner. Ooh, perfect. And our Black Ark support ability ends just as the Black Ark Corsairs close the distance. It's all worked out very nicely. And of course, with the enemy in the process of losing their most critical ranged units, I don't imagine their Dryads are going to have too much of a chance against us, even with the 2 Treemen and whatnot there to support them. Alright, pretty much all the Glade Guard are either tied up or destroyed already. And the enemy is still standing back. Huh, I wonder why. And it sent the S1 Sisters of the Thorn back there. Go figure. Oh, and there we go. Now they're going to start moving. I guess, and maybe they started moving because we brought forth the melee units, so... With the Twin Blades closing the distance, the enemy can actually see them now. Maybe it was keeping the Dryads back with the idea of closing the distance with the Twin Blades once they made themselves known? Not entirely sure. Not that it matters, Overwatch. Anyway, Lokir's already defeated Lord, but he's going to take his time to go for Mr. Daith out there. While we face off against the enemy Dryads and whatever other units remain. The War Dancers, of course, are definitely going to be a major threat here, and interspersing themselves amongst the Dryads to allow the Dryads to take some of the hits for them is certainly going to allow them to do more damage. Unfortunately for them, just as we close the distance, we activate the Murderous Prowess and drop a Soul Blight on the enemy as well, massively causing a disparity between the melee defense of the enemy and the melee attack of our Corsairs, especially the Twin Blades. A big old tree man has arrived, however, and Daith is down to about 10% of his HP in the background, while Lokir is still completely fine. None of this being of any surprise, however. We do hit the enemy with Arcane's Lash to debuff them even further, Arcane's Scourge now. And that combines nicely with Soul Blight, 0-0 melee attack and defense on those Dryads. First of the enemy units of War Dancers is out of here as well, bleeding, poisoned, and their souls blighted. But hey, they only adopted their souls having been blighted. Dark Elves were molded by it, etc. Anyway, looks like we've got one last unit of War Dancers on the field fighting the Lords of Plunder, and be one of the Masters here. But it looks like the Spears won't be beating the Twin Blades, though we did take damage, admittedly. Well, losing about half of our HP, if not quite half the models. And with that, Daith's army will shatter, and just as Orion's did, though that should hardly be of any surprise. Would be nice if we could pass by Durthu and take him out, and if we can... well, Argval's probably pretty far from the edge of the forest, so I don't know, I'll think about it. I don't want to spend too much time fighting the Wood Elves either, just want to make our presence known. Anyway, a lovely, lovely fight. Alright, there we go, another solid fight, decent chunk of change for our trouble, and I guess we're gonna have to heal up because the other option will give us no additional stuff. Lokir did pretty darn well, getting 50,000 damage, defeating Daith and personally crushing another avatar, and that Daith is the avatar of Vol, as Orion is the avatar of Kurnos. Just gotta find the avatar of Isha now, but anyway, we will go for enslave this. Wait, name-wise, what do we have here? Ooh, hello. 11,000 damage on Kraken's tendrils. Ooh, Lords of Plunder. 13,000 damage, living up to their name and probably giving us a big chunk of change. Serpent's Gaze with 21,000 damage for the hand bows as well. Lovely. And as always, great work from the Flying Dread. Mostly targeting single entities, though, rather than racking up the kills. And also protecting the Sorceress. Anyway, enslave. Like so, another factor, another envoy, very nice. Everybody loves the Dark Elves. And Dark Steed for the Scout. Sure, yes? Yeah, sure. Well, he'll get a cold one mount eventually anyway. Anyway, we will auto-resolve this and then sack it now. And then I guess we'll occupy it. Like so. Yeah, we are in range of selling Yakla Rouge if we want to attack these guys as well. Out of curiosity, Talzin wants peace by fairly large margin. Alright, we'll take peace, and I will also want you to cancel your trade agreement with Fair Derek, who you don't like because we've screwed over your relationship. Oh, they don't want to do that, huh? I wonder... Nope, no dice. Huh, okay, so that's not free. What about non-aggression pact? Bordello errant? No dice. Alright. How about military? You don't have any of that. Alright, fine, just give us the money for peace. And we've already defeated Orion. And we have no intention of going all the way into the Wood Elves' main territory, though, I don't know, maybe on the edge of it, like here we might sack a few of the trees just for the cash, but otherwise I don't want to get bogged down on something that's useless to us, effectively. The magical forests are, in fact, red territory for us, which is a little bit silly. I think it should be at least yellow territory, but whatever. All good. If goblins can survive there, I'm sure the Dark Elves could. Even if they don't find it the most pleasant. Anyway.
Sister of the Dark.
I wonder whether we should attack these guys and then trade them this territory. How much is Turin worth to these guys? Let's see. Oh, nothing right now. Oh, alright, fine. We'll take the turn to build that. The 2 turns, I guess. Don't collect the income. And we'll get a little bit of extra cash via open markets here before we trade it off. Might be worth more to these guys, depending on if we attack them and give them a full territory. 1. Alrighty. Well, fair enough. Yeah, and this I haven't decided about. Anyway, we've got a new tech available to us. I'm gonna go with Druki Herbalist. It's 1 turn. It's never gonna get cheaper. May as well do it. Let's pop off the new right in the Sacrifice to Anathrema. Or sacking and raising settlements. Oh, I should have done that before attacking. It's good, but it's really the Black Ark growth that we want anyway, so yeah. Anyway, Arwenel. Now, I do see a little army running around there, and an army being built at Castle Hashar again. And, oh, I didn't move the tech thieves? Okay, start with moving the tech thieves. Oh, another failure, come on. Are you really unable to achieve any tech thievery unless you have the sacrifice to Kakarti up and running? 15 turns? That's not so bad, alright. Well, hopefully you guys survive long enough to make use of it. Anyway, back to Arwenel. You... we'll probably want another point in Flock of Doom. Yes, we want Linebreaker. Sigmarsheim. I'd love to occupy it. I'm surprised that this army is moving away, though. They are in range, however. And Pyrrhic Victory. Alright, so it might be worth fighting. This place is going to be a field battle as well. And if we should do enough damage, we'll be good. Are you able to leave Castle Musia? I don't think you are, unfortunately. I wanted to send him to Martel, but then these guys will move here. Although next turn you'll be able to upgrade the place. You know what? Let's sit here for one turn, and then afterwards I think we'll be good. Let's also upgrade tourist vigilance while we're here. And hey, our income is negative now, but hopefully the black arcs simply counteract that. Speaking of black arcs, you're gonna go here, and you're gonna leech. Granted, you're already ranked 2. Hello. We got enemies. All right, might be something fighting. Something fighting. You make much sense, Ruinous. Much sense. Auto-resolve. Alrighty, and I guess, much as I'd like to take the money, we'll heal up. Lovely. Alright, screw you and your anti-player bias. Don't hate the player, etc. Anyway, you can just be nearby. Huh. You will take 2 turns to recruit anything, right? I mean, we could recruit you a couple more Black Ark Corsairs, but I'm not sure that we need any more, because we need space for other things. That will cause, just see here. That will cause the effects that we need. We have no options there. Just gonna have to wait. Also, Mr. Phidian, you're supposed to join here. Alright, back to doing stuff in order. Arwenil? Do we want to fight with you right now, or do we want to keep moving? Let's move a few more, and then we'll see. Alright, any more islands? Come on, islands. And 1 materials at sea. Just 1. Hello. Yeah, see, they're like, with their 1 little unit armies, or 1 lord armies, it's like they're... I don't know. The AI doesn't know what it's doing. Not that it ever did, mind you. Anyway, you. Galeth. Keep looking for islands, but also looking for these guys. Oh, we're not at war. I forgot about that. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're not able to reach this guy anyway. Huh, wait. If we move into your zone of control, like so, would we be able to make you stuck? Let's find out. Declare war, or actually, we'll talk to the challengers of Khorne. Huh. Actually, Imrik doesn't dislike us all that much, funnily enough. Minus 74 is not that bad, but nonetheless, probably we won't make an ally of him, especially since Malice, dies. Would have been funny, though. And also, technically, we do want to destroy him. We will join your war against the Knights of Caledor for fairly any cash or whatever. Alright, and then what I wanted to see was, are you now stuck? I think they're stuck, so you just sit there, and then hopefully you could just kill them next turn if they can't get away. Isn't that lovely? Gotta exert that zone of control. It's dark in the skies, and let us also upgrade the Helldrakes, so that would mean conferring Bloodlust. And I guess we need the Reaper Bolter buff as well, which would be called the Unworthy, though admittedly it's not much of a buff, but nonetheless. Alrighty, and then the rest of them will upgrade later. Watch Imrik also be here with a full stack. Well, if he is, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Go for the Gargantuan Black Ark. We do have the cash. We may as well take the time to build it up and want them everywhere after all. In fact, any of the older Black Arks that need upgrades. Okay, the older ones are fine, minus Moksha, who can't move right now anyway. So yeah, Moksha, go for it. 8k, horrifically expensive. Admiral Dekunkar, you we're going after this little army, which is aha. Okay, so it's sailing away. Try to catch it. Watch it try to go for some of these territories, the ones that are pretty poorly defended. It's certainly a possibility. Anyway, we are going to have you raise this place, right?
Lord of the Black Court.
Go and raise that. Wait, I did move Nagra. Did I move you? I did, and you probably failed, but you got 8 turns to attempt to succeed again, so auto-resolve, please. And raise it this time. Lovely. And no plague for you? Well done. Now, Quesnel. You know what? I like the idea of moving you to Quesnel and having you raise it, because Lokir can sack it and then move past it rather than taking the time. At least you're serving a purpose here. And I do like that. Suraray, we've already moved you. Anybody else need to move before we fight? Moksha, we did... Alright, he can't move. I was about to say we did not move, but we couldn't move, so it's kind of... It's true, but, you know, without any of the nuance. Siraray, did we want to get your Route Marcher so that you can get where you need to go faster? Let's get you Students of the Dark Tower as well, like so. And get your army up and running thanks to Admiral Carrier. And speaking of Admiral Carrier, we're going to want you to build a shade building, because we'll need the Den of Outlaws there. We'll also need you, Mr. Fang. Well, we need the Dragon Tower. Wait, no, actually, no, we need the Sorceress thing.
Lord of Fear,
To get Medusa. Alright, fine. Go for the Sorceress cabin here.
Dreadlord,
As for Fang Shield, he's more or less good as he is. He will need the sacrificial pits, and I think we'll start on building those. Every single one of these Black Arcs that wants to be able to function on its own should have these things maxed out, so let's build them. And Tier 4 is pretty good for the Black Arcs. We don't necessarily need to max them out to Tier 5. At Tier 3, really, they're more or less ready to go and do their own thing. Ooh, also, you will need to those Raider Lodges. And, okay, your recruitment is nearly complete. Your recruitment is basically complete, and that means we need to recruit a hero, a lord here, in order to... Okay, you know what? Actually, before I forget, go grab this island.
the ocean awaits. Black-hearted Dreadlord,
And go for Fortified Grog, I guess. Method's Blessing, not gonna do too much, but I wanted the money. And then you could do the same thing since you're not recruiting. The rest of the units will be recruited out of this province. There's a Sea Serpent standard, very nice. Not necessarily for you, but very nice nonetheless in both of these armies. No new islands nearby? I mean, there are some nearby, but we don't need to range that far. Since you guys are getting ready to move, you will be ready in one turn, more or less, minus the heroes that you need, but as I said, a Recruiter Lord. We should have one with a decent recruiter trait. We saw some sorceresses with those. Not Indulgent, not Shadow Manipulator, not Ardent of Morathi, not Indulgent. It was Fertility Rights, yes. Control and Growth. And though, funnily enough, we don't really need that in this particular territory. It's better than nothing. Alright, we'll go for Inspiring Presence, and we'll go for Root Marcher to start moving through this stuff. Alright, now, you will want to build 4 Blackguard of Naggarond, although there goes all of our cash, but we might as well get started on them. Oh wait, actually that's for this guy, for the Grimgaze army. Yeah, meaning we can actually wait for that for a couple of turns, meaning it's not as critical as these guys' things. You... Actually, I'm trying to remember... Oh, you guys need to trade your troops. Oops. Alright, so what we do need here is some Scourge Runner chariots. Which are still fairly expensive to recruit. And Manticores, which are cheaper. Alright, so let's do 4 Manticores to start. And I don't remember what else I wanted. I'm going to take another look at what they've got as options, so we'll deal with that in a bit. Oh, Hydras, right.
Black-hearted Dreadlord,
What do we have? Can we actually build Hydras here? We can. 2 turns, though, so let's start on these 2. Plus the Chill of Sontar makes 3, and that army will be good to go. Black Dragon. Probably want to pop at least 1 into that army, maybe to lead the Manticores, although I suppose we could also... Well, maybe it's not a bad idea. Anyway, that's most of our money. We were going to fight somewhere, and then I promptly forgot where it was. Oh, right here. Alright, let's do this quick fight before we end the episode. Should be decent enough. Stack and a half, maybe. Go.
Annihilate them!
Alrighty, here we go. I guess it was a pretty good idea to build the armies, or the army out here. I mean, previously led by Alarion, now temporarily led by Arwinel here. And leveling them both up to level 10 might be a good thing as well, so I'm not gonna complain. Anyway, the Sorceress is going to just sit back and cast the occasional spell while the rest of the units do the work. We have about a minute and a half until the enemy reinforcements arrive, so we're going to surround, envelop, and obliterate the first army before the reinforcements get here, or at least that's the plan. We've set up all 4 of our Reaper Bolt throwers over on the right flank, and they're firing to knock out all the enemy range units. so that they cannot fire back. And in the meantime, the Dark Riders have looped around the enemy army to A, destroy the enemy mortars, and then as soon as the enemy range units have been cleared, to fire into the backs of the enemy swordsmen, halberdiers, and greatswords. Down go the mortars, the crew running and abandoning the 3 remaining machines, while the swords face off against each other. I'm just thinking we could... A thought occurs. I was going to do a black arc with the dread spears and bleak swords and dark shards and such, but honestly that kind of echoes the same sort of armies we have otherwise. Maybe we change that up a little bit. Maybe we go bleak swords and then combine them with some executioners and maybe a couple of the twin blade corsairs as well. Just sort of a lots of swords kind of army. Might be a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna try to remember that for next episode. Hopefully I don't forget. But yeah, I essentially just don't want to echo this kind of army. Anyway, the enemy range units have been destroyed, and the enemy melee units are now having a very, very bad time of all this, as they are pressed against the fast-attacking twin blades up front, and then getting shot in the back by all of those Dark Riders, which does work pretty darn well. The unfortunate aspect to the Dark Riders is that they have they can't fire whilst moving. They can't even fire forward, which is actually a little bit surprising. I would think that they would function like Outriders, who can fire while moving, but can only fire while moving forward, I believe. And certainly there are some units that can do that, but obviously they can't fire in 360 directions like Pistoliers and stuff. And having read the Malice books and such, I'm pretty sure that these guys should be able to fire while moving at least to some degree. Not that it's a major problem. And what they do have is armor-piercing damage and a fair bit of it as well, so there is some trade-off. Let's see, we got Pistoliers here and more Pistoliers. Yeah, okay, I wanted to check some Outriders, but I'm not sure this particular army has any. Not that it's a big deal, mind you. Here we go. Or am I just thinking of Huntsmen who can move while firing forward, but obviously not firing back? Anyway, all good. Pistoliers facing off against the Dark Riders in the center of the map, which should, in theory, go in our favor. The enemy hits us, actually does hit a little bit harder than the Dark Riders do. And out of curiosity, their reload time is 5.3 seconds. Oh my. They actually reload faster than us as well. Huh, kind of impressive. And they have more armor. Go Pistoliers. Well, I do love Pistoliers, so I ain't complaining. Anyway, a Black Arc Corsair is going to head forward to try to essentially block off the enemy Wardens of the West, which will charge our fragile Dark Riders. Gotta be careful, because the Repeater Crossbow Dark Riders have effectively no melee defense at down to 17. We're going to keep the Mounted Yeoman locked there for a few seconds, just to allow the Twin Blades to close the distance and then start fighting them in melee, and then we'll back the Dark Riders off. If we just backed off immediately, the enemy would simply give chase, and we wouldn't be able to catch them. Ooh, big ol', I don't know what that was, Amber Spear or something? Oh, it was an arrow of Akshi. Hits the Sorceress, who does lose a fair bit of HP while also being hit by the enemy Huntsman as well, so we're going to back her off. But everybody else can move forward. The Mounted Yeomen have fallen, and the Dark Riders have free reign once more. Most of the enemy range units are still firing away at us, but the closer they draw to our army, the more likely they get into the range of our Repeater Bolt Throwers. Or Reaper Bolt Throwers, rather. Though they do repeat, but anyway. And these things are pretty darn solid against infantry. Just a little bit more work. The bounce power has shifted to about 75% in our favor, and I'm willing to bet that once the enemy has run out of melee troops, their range units will simply give up. Not that there's looking to be too many range units to actually give up, as they are running out of those as well. And there we go, we see the leadership bars dropping, and it looks like with that the enemy has done it. I see the last halberdier unit shattered, and as soon as it did, the range units did indeed run on out of there. Lovely. Though the enemy did give us a decent fight. Again, this isn't a Black Arc army, nor is it as reliant on Corsairs and all that, and we obviously have limited to no buffs in this army, so it's not surprising. But a nice fight's a nice fight. I'm not gonna say no to one ever. Alright, there we are. A rather nice fight. We were able to use Druki First Strike rather to destroy the garrison forces before we had to move on to the other army. And though we took some damage, which makes sense considering the fragility of Dark Elf armies, especially sort of mid-tier Dark Elf armies, we still came out ahead. Decent money, decent everything, and sack value is high enough that we will definitely want to sack the place. So sack it we shall, and then hopefully we can still occupy it. Yes. Alrighty. And you can take Sigmar's Heim, and then I guess we can go on and sack Larat. Or Laray out there. Ally mission successful as well, good. And Sigmar's Heim we will want to immediately repair. I guess we can keep the Artisan's House, probably. Although this is kind of on the front lines. Might kind of warrant more defensive structures here. Let's think about that then. And maybe this will be a good place to build a barracks as well as the Dark Palisade as well. Again, I just want this sort of coastline fortified. The rest will be for sacking, raising, and looting, and training, and whatnot. Anyway, just wanted to make sure that we did this fight before we ended the... I should have gone for Iron Disciplinary. I guess we could reset you depending on what kind of sort of support name of power you get. We'll... Improves the Lord's army, improves the Lord's combats, because yeah, it's aristocratic name of power that we want. Influences the province in which the Lord is standing with the faction as a whole. We haven't gotten any of those as yet, which is rather different from my Malekith campaign, where we were popping off a sort of support lords eventually into pretty much every province, though it does add a lot of them to this list, and that I do find that a little bit annoying. Anyway, with that, we're out of time. Calling it here. Next time, more Dark Elf action as we finish up with a Lokir down here at Castle Quinnell, and keep on moving through to the various objectives that we have within the Empire, whether it be this way or, I mean, if we really wanted to, we could take this road, go through the mountains, sack Bugman's Brewery, and then move up this way, although that would take a lot longer to get to Elftown, which I'm not as big of a fan of. Anyway, we'll figure it out as we go, so stay tuned for more Lokir, and don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.